6 and 6, where we cover 6 stories from around the world in 6 minutes or less. With that said, start your timer. We begin today in South America, where Guyana is experiencing a significant oil boom that is transforming its economic landscape, with recent elections focused on how the newfound oil wealth will be managed and distributed. The government aims to leverage oil revenues to improve infrastructure and diversify the economy, while balancing immediate economic opportunities with long-term sustainability concerns. Citizens and observers are closely watching how effectively current leadership can navigate this critical economic transition. From Reuters, quote, "This election is not just about choosing a leader, it's about choosing a direction for the country's future." The official further noted, quote, "While the oil rush brings immediate benefits, it also presents risks, such as potential over-reliance on a single sector. The challenges lie in creating a balanced approach that leverages current opportunities while planning for a diversified future," end quote. Next, we travel across the Atlantic to Uganda, where the opposition figure who is pushing back against the current government has been alleged to have faced judicial bias and undermining the judicial impartiality. The case highlights significant tensions in Uganda's political landscape, with concerns about government efforts to suppress political dissent. International observers are closely monitoring the situation for potential human rights violations and challenges to democratic principles. From Reuters, quote, "The decision to boycott a trial is an act of protest against perceived judicial partiality, signifying a bold defiance against what is alleged to be a judiciary acting as an extension of a political machinery aimed at muzzling the opposition. The outcome of this trial could set significant precedents for future political opposition proceedings in Uganda," end quote. Next, we travel back across the Atlantic to Haiti, where the United Nations is actively considering expanding its security force to help with the critical situation caused by escalating gang violence. This potential UN intervention is crucial to restore order and provide humanitarian assistance in the crisis-stricken country. From Reuters, quote, "Violence has escalated exponentially in Haiti over the past year, driven in large part by gangs that have seized control of substantial parts of the capital, Port-au-Prince," the UN assessment statement said, end quote. Next, we travel to the Middle East, the Asia continent, where a devastating earthquake in Afghanistan has killed 800 people and injured approximately 2,800, overwhelming local infrastructure and emergency services. The Taliban government has appealed to international community for urgent humanitarian aid. The disaster was severely damaging communities, with many homes destroyed and survivors trapped under debris. From Reuters, quote, "We need all the help we can get," a Taliban official stated, highlighting the critical need for medical supplies and equipment. The catastrophic earthquake has left entire communities paralyzed, with many homes reduced to rubble, end quote. Next, we travel further south to Australia, where Santos Ltd. Has delayed its $1.87 billion sale of its Bayu-Undan gas field and Darwin LNG plant stakes to a consortium led by ADNOC until late 2025. This postponement is primarily due to ongoing regulatory reviews and approval processes in the Timor-Leste and Australia. The transaction involves selling Santos's 43.4% interest in the gas field and 42.5% interest in the LNG facility, aligning with the company's strategy to divest from non-core assets. From Reuters, quote, "Regulatory approvals are a normal part of such complex transactions, which involve multiple parties and jurisdictions. While delays can be frustrating, they are also a testament to the robust and thoroughness of the review process in place. These transactions represent significant investments and carry responsibilities to a wide range of stakeholders," end quote. And finally, we travel all the way back to Europe, where tens of thousands of protesters marched in Belgrade, Serbia, demanding snap elections and expressing deep dissatisfaction with President Aleksandar Vučić in his administration. The demonstrations highlighted concerns about perceived authoritarianism, corruption, media control, and recent violent incidences in the country. Opposition parties and civil society groups are pushing for early elections before the scheduled 2025 parliamentary vote, seeking to capitalize on growing public frustration in the current government's performance. From Reuters, quote, "We've had a lot of lies and a failing system. It's now time for leadership that truly represents the people's interests, said one protester. The demonstration reflected broader criticism that Vovic had been wielding too much power and stifling democratic dissent in Serbia, end quote. And of course, if you want to read any of today's articles in their entirety, you can find all the links down there in the description below that like and subscribe button. Also down there, you can find the podcast on Spotify, Pocket Cast, Podvine, as well as the Twitter handle at Your Daily Flip, where I post these links to these episodes on Tuesday and Thursday, and our normal podcast on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So, with all that said, there's only one more thing to say. Stay safe, don't die.